Welcome back to A Dog's Devotion. I want to start by thanking each and every one of you for listening, for sharing, and for supporting this podcast. It truly is a passion project for me. Your love for dogs and their stories is what makes this show possible. This week, we have a truly heartwarming episode. I sit down with Monica Callahan from the Alliance of Therapy Dogs to learn about the incredible ways therapy dogs bring comfort, healing, and joy to people of all ages. It's a powerful reminder just how much our dogs give us every single day. I'm so grateful you're here, and I hope you enjoy this very special conversation. Welcome to A Dog's Devotion, the heartfelt podcast for every dog lover. Here, we celebrate the unbreakable bond between humans and their dogs. Each week, we sit down with inspiring guests who share powerful stories of love, resilience, and devotion. From the joy of adoption to the heartbreak of loss and the healing that follows, this is a space where we honor our best friends, the ones who leave paw prints on our hearts forever. Welcome to A Dog's Devotion, where we celebrate the incredible bond between humans and their dogs. Today, I'm honored to welcome Monica Callahan from the Alliance of Therapy Dogs. Now, this remarkable organization certifies and supports therapy dog teams who share comfort, joy, and healing in hospitals, nursing homes, schools, and so many other places. Their work proves that a dog's love can change lives, not just for individuals, but for entire communities. Monica is here to share her story, her passion, and how therapy dogs truly make the world a better place. Monica, it's very nice meeting you, and thanks for taking the time today out of your schedule to chat with me.
For sure. Very nice to speak with you.
It's great. I'm such a dog lover, and what you do and what the dogs do to help people is priceless.
hmm
So let's sort of start at the beginning. For those who may not know, can you tell us a little bit about the Alliance of Therapy Dogs and the mission behind your work?
Sure. So, Alliance of Therapy Dogs started in 1990. So, we are 35 years old this year.
Wow.
We are a nonprofit and we certify and test and insure over 20,000 teams now in Canada, the US, Puerto Rico, and our US territories and military installations.
Wow.
So, and it actually just started with a husband and wife in their living room who wanted to start up an organization 35 years ago. And we've grown to what we are now. We are based out of Cheyenne, Wyoming still. So it's pretty amazing.
I love Wyoming, by the way.
I've been a couple times now. I'm actually in Charleston, South Carolina. I
Oh,
work
I
remotely.
like South Carolina too.
Yeah. But yep, we've been a couple times now to the office and it's pretty cool.
Well, that's amazing that this started with just a couple and it's grown to this magnitude.
Yep.
Wow. How did you and why did you want to get involved with therapy dogs?
So I actually went to college for pre-veterinary medicine,
Mhm.
and I had gotten 2 Dalmatians while I was in college and sought out a trainer that my beliefs aligned with, and she ended up being about an hour away. But I made the drive and we became really good friends, and she actually eventually became my mentor when I decided I wanted to get more into dog training rather than the medical side. And she got into therapy dogs many years ago and was like, "Hey, I think your dog would be a really good therapy dog. Have you ever considered it?" And I knew not much about therapy dog work.
Yeah.
And so she kind of took me under her wing and showed me what it was about. And then she was a tester observer. So she was my tester observer then. And then she got onto the board of directors with Alliance of Therapy Dogs. And eventually I also got onto the board of directors. And that's kind of how we started there.
Wow. So you just mentioned you didn't think you never thought your dog would be a therapy dog. So what makes a good therapy dog? Like what qualities in a dog do you look for?
And that's a big reason I like Alliance of Therapy Dogs is because I think one of the biggest things you can look for is that your dog truly does enjoy interacting with many different people. We get some people that have dogs and they're like, "Oh, but they love me, they love my family," but you get them outside that circle and they're a little intimidated and they don't really want to go say hi to other people. So I truly believe that it's so important that the dogs also benefit from this as well. And I believe that our test really looks for that too. So it's not just about the human aspect of this, but is the dog really enjoying it too?
Right. dogs, I would think, would enjoy this. I mean, I've seen photos, and the dogs look quite happy playing with kids and sitting on the senior's lap. I mean, they get something out of this as well, don't they?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, dogs have really changed from where they started many, many, many years ago, and they do seek out that human bond. But
Mhm.
not all dogs enjoy that. And some can actually be quite upset about it. And so I think that's really important that we're not putting dogs who are uncomfortable in those positions.
Right. So, are there certain breeds or temperaments, I mean, that tend to excel in therapy work, or can I mean, obviously, you just said some dogs don't enjoy it. Are there any dogs that potentially qualify or don't qualify?
So we accept any breeds. The only ones we don't accept are coyote and wolf mixes, just because we don't have proof that the rabies vaccine works in them like it does other dogs. So those are the only mixes that we don't allow. But honestly, I think that temperament, every breed has a certain temperament, but then you also have many, many outliers on both sides of it. I think you'll end up seeing more of certain breeds just because those breeds are more prevalent in the United States and
Mhm.
other places. I mean, just until recently, Labs and Goldens are some of the most popular dog breeds in the United States. So it's natural that you're going to see more of them just because we have more numbers.
Yeah, and I was gonna say that because I see a lot of therapy dogs that are golden retrievers.
Mhm.
It seems to be one of the more popular breeds of dogs where everybody loves. They're super friendly, and but it's nice that you've got a different types of breeds. So I'm sure you've got the smaller dogs, you've got
Mhm.
the bigger ones.
Yep.
It's nice to have a
Shorter
mix.
hair, longer hair, because not everybody likes the same kind of dog.
Right. So
I tend to go more towards the skinnier, short-haired dogs rather than your big fluffy dogs.
right. Isn't that funny? We all have a certain type that we like.
Mhm.
How do you the patients and the people that you bring these dogs to, how do you find out from them what type of dog they want? Like, are they able to say, "I prefer a smaller dog," or, "I like a big dog"? How does that work?
I think it depends on the facility and what they have available to them. Some people just want a dog, any dog. Some people might have preferences, and it might be that I always like to ask, and we always tell our members that you should ask before you allow your dog to go up to anyone because not everybody likes dogs. And so, if they say, oh, I only like little dogs and I have my Dalmatian with me, then I'll be like, okay, well, you can see him from afar. If you don't want to interact with them, that's fine. But if I have another member with me and they do have a smaller dog, then like my friend has a beagle. A lot of our older generation love beagles because they all had one growing up.
Right.
So, they will love all over her. Yeah. And you don't get offended. I don't get offended if people don't want to say hi to my dog. Not everybody likes them.
No, you can't because everyone's got a preference, right?
Yep.
Is there a particular story that you can think of about a therapy dog visit that really stuck with you? Like, maybe one that shows the true power of the human canine connection?
I have a couple, and it's always hard to think of one, but the biggest one that always sticks out in my head that I always end up telling all the time just because I remember it so much was we do a lot of visits at the airport in Myrtle Beach. And so one time we were just down in baggage claim, and this lady was really crying, which oddly enough, you do see quite a bit of tears in the airport. And so I just kind of acknowledged her, and she kind of looked over and asked, Is it okay if I come pet your dog? And I said yes. And she really just came over, kneeled down, pet my dog for a few minutes, didn't say a word to me, got up, said thank you, and left. And I was like, wow, she must be having a really hard day because she was really crying. And she had actually contacted me through my dog's Instagram at a later date and said, thank you so much for that. I was the woman that was crying. I had just left my dad for probably the last time that I would see him. And I'll always remember Oreo, who is my dog. And so that was just really touching.
Oh my gosh. See, I wouldn't think of therapy dogs in airports,
Mhm.
but I guess there's people who are stressed when they're flying, or like in this woman's situation, losing her dad and never possibly seeing him again.
Yeah, and we had another family who was just coming back to Myrtle Beach for the first time since they had lost their son, and that was their son's favorite place to go. So it was a hard visit for them too.
What's it like for you? I mean, I know there's lots of laughter and good tears. Good people, dogs just make people happy, but
Mhm.
some of these stories must touch you in a negative way. Like, it must be hurtful for you, isn't it?
At the end of the day, I would say probably not, just because I know that we're helping them feel a little bit better. And if there's one thing I love to do, it's just to help people feel better. Throughout my whole entire life, I've just always liked to see people be better and know that you made a difference in it. So there's a lot of places that we visited that probably are sad. And you hear a lot of sad stories. Like, we do a conference for parents of murdered children every year. And so you will meet some of the kindest people there under very sad circumstances. Have I cried with them? Yes, I have. But they are so thankful and so appreciative that I don't have a choice but to go back, because you just know that you made their day a little bit brighter during a really hard time.
So where like, you're bringing up places where I never thought that therapy dogs would be.
Mhm.
Can you give us, like, a little bit of example of where else you go? I know you go to the hospitals and seniors' homes and schools, but you just mentioned airports, and you just mentioned I mean, I can't imagine the pain a parent feels when their child is murdered.
Yeah.
Where else do you go with your therapy dogs?
Personally, but we do have a ton of teams that do a lot of visits on military bases. For whether it's the school, the American Red Cross uses a lot of our dogs very often. We have quite a few dogs in the court systems to help people that are testifying, especially children. So that's a big one. We actually have a decent amount of funeral homes that bring in therapy dogs, which is
Wow.
pretty cool. Some dentist's office even bring in therapy dogs.
You're
I would
kidding.
love that.
So do they reach out to you then and say, "We need you to come bring a therapy dog in for this particular patient," or is that how it works?
It's a little bit of both. So some of our members are really good about reaching out to the people in their neighborhoods and things like that, and say, "Hey, I have this really good idea of how a therapy dog could be beneficial." And they get a hold of some people that love dogs and they're like, "Yeah, let's do this." We do also have facilities that will contact our office, and we can send out requests to wherever they're looking for in a certain area. And then if our teams are interested in doing that, they can reply to that person and set that up too.
Right. I'm curious, is there a cost for this?
Nope. So that is one of the things with ATD, is for our insurance to be active with our teams, we do have to be volunteer. So it is all
Um,
completely free on our part, and ATD as an organization really tries to keep our member dues really low for our teams. So we try to make them only pay enough to cover that insurance every year.
right. The therapy dogs, I mean, I know they affect the people they visit, especially in schools, hospitals, or senior centers and everywhere else you mentioned. What's it like for the dog? I know it's hard to speak for the dog, but how do the dogs handle all this? Because dogs are very emotional and they pick up on other people's feelings.
Definitely. And I think that's why it's so important to make sure that your dog really does enjoy it, that your dogs get a break. We have a lot of people who are very gung ho about wanting to get out there and do all the things, and that's great, but you need to make sure that your dog does have that time off too. I would say that most people tend to visit about an hour, because even at an hour, you can start to see the dogs tire out a little bit. We
Right.
do occasionally do longer things, but I try to give my dogs a break and let people know that, hey, we're here for a decent amount of time and they're getting a little tired.
Right.
And so it's definitely learning your dog's body language, making sure you're paying attention to them and giving them breaks, because people think your dogs are just visiting people and they're so happy and they love it, and but it's exhausting for them.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now, do your therapy dogs work a certain amount of days during the week?
It varies.
It varies.
As an organization, we require our teams do at least one in-person visit every 3 months is our base minimum, which is pretty low, honestly. But yeah, other than that, people have the flexibility to do what they want. Sometimes my dogs might do 3 visits a week, sometimes they might do none. So it kinda just varies on how many different visits people do.
Right. And how can people who have a dog and are curious about therapy work get involved with Alliance of Therapy Dogs?
So they can go right to our website, www.therapydogs.com, super easy. And it will go ahead and show you, you have your different menus, and they can click join, and it will take them right to the page that kind of walks them through those steps on our testing process, because every organization might look a little different.
Mhm.
and kind of what it entails. They need to get a background check through Sterling Volunteers. They need to get a health form signed by their vet, and then they can go ahead and get connected with their local tester observer.
Right. And is there a certain specific type of training that you put the dogs through before you bring them out?
No, and actually that's kind of a nice thing about ATD is that we don't require any specific training beforehand. I think that makes it a little more cost inclusive to a lot of different people if they can't afford, expensive classes or things like that. So, no, if you feel like your dog is ready and you look it over the paperwork and you're like, I think my dog can rock this test, then you can come try it out.
I think that would be so rewarding, to have a dog and bring him around and put a smile on people's faces. I mean, what a great thing that is.
Yeah, it makes us feel better too. I love it.
Percent everyone is going to benefit from this.
hmm
Oh, do you have any support or resources that you provide to members once they become part of your network?
So we do have a member portal where they have to go and log their visits and find information. So we do try to keep that updated with different educational topics for them. My job is actually the education and marketing manager, so I work a lot on, graphics and handouts and things like that that might help our members learn maybe a little more about body language, what to look for when your dog is tired, how to handle certain situations because we get a lot of people that are like, "Look, this happened and I didn't know what to do." And our office is so responsive, and that's a great thing. Even though we have 20,000 members, we are very small. We only have about 5 office staff. And if you call our phone number, you're going to talk to one of us. So
Wow.
that's a really nice thing.
Yeah, it is because you know, you don't talk to people anymore on the phone, right?
Right.
It's either texting or an
hmm
email. You never get to hear that. And I'm old school. I like to have somebody hear somebody's voice on the other side of the phone.
Yep.
How many dogs do you have in total that work with you?
Me personally?
Not you, just the whole
Okay.
organization.
I want to, so we have 20,000 members, and I want to say we probably have, oh, I didn't look it up. I would guess around 15 to 17,000 dogs,
Wow,
I want to say.
that's incredible. And what
Yeah.
is the most popular breed out of those 17,000? Do you know?
I have not looked, but I'm just gonna guess that it's probably golden retrievers just because there's
Mhm.
so many. But the doodles are probably close, just the
Oh,
whole
yeah.
doodle category is probably close as well.
Yeah, that's right, I forgot about the doodles. They're
Mhm.
so po everybody has a doodle.
Yep.
They're super, super friendly, and they're great with kids, and I've never seen an
People
issue
like
with
to
it.
run their fingers through the fur.
And, they have to have a really good temperament because especially when they're around the kids, you know how kids grab tails and
Mm.
pull on
Yeah,
the
our team's
ears
gotta
and
watch out for that for sure.
yeah, so you'd really have to keep an eye on your dog, and I'm assuming they wear a vest, a therapy vest when you take
They
them.
don't have to.
Okay.
And so the only thing we require our members wear, do I have one? I do have one. Let me go grab
Oh,
it real
great.
quick. The only thing that is required for our teams to wear are these little red heart tags.
Oh, a heart, okay.
Yeah. And so it can only be on when they're visiting. So mine's on a little clasp. So if we leave a visit, I take it off. If we go to one, I put it back on.
Right.
So
So, what looking ahead, what's your hope for the future for therapy dog work?
I think it's just going to continue to grow. I think you're going to see it in so many different places. And I think people are going to become more accepting of it. But I also hope that places become more educated on therapy dogs
Mhm.
because we do probably have a lot of people who think that, oh, I'm just going to get my therapy dog certified and then I could take it anywhere. And so then that gets into the whole education topic of service dog versus therapy dog, and that we are not welcome everywhere. We have to be invited in for a
Right.
specific reason. So, my hope is that the education on what a therapy dog actually is continues to grow so that we can make them more professional and more of a working dog and get a little bit more credit for what they do.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Is there a lifespan for therapy dogs? Like, do they have to be I'm assuming they can't be puppies, they have to be a little bit older, but then you can't have seniors that do that because they're getting a little tired and worn out. Is there a certain age bracket that works out best?
To test with us, they do have to be at least a year old, and then they have to have had a relationship with the person they're testing with for at least 6 months,
Right.
just to make sure you know the dog and everybody's on the same page. At this time, we do not have a cap on age. just because your larger breeds are going to age quicker than your smaller breeds. And it's kind of hard to put that cap on there.
Right.
But I mean, I've known therapy dogs as old as 13, 14, and then all around there. So it varies.
You must have been extremely busy, I would think, during COVID.
Surprisingly not.
Really? And I would have
Yeah.
thought when everybody was stressed out and everybody was at home and things were chaotic and we went through something that we've never been through before, that people would be looking for therapy dogs.
Well, I think you had to worry about, the whole person to person contact. We had a lot of hospitals and things like that who just weren't allowed to have our teams come visit. So they did a lot of virtual visits. And a big thing during COVID was actually window visits. So they would visit through the windows so they could at least see the dogs.
Right.
But yeah, I know some organizations even told their members they couldn't visit. We still allowed our members to visit if they were able to, because
Right.
every geographical location was a little different.
Right.
Some
Ah,
people
that's
had more
interesting.
restrictions than others.
Yeah. And you must love what you do. I can tell you do.
I do. I do. I'm very passionate about it. Like I said, I was a volunteer on the board until January when they hired me full time. So it's been pretty awesome to be able to take something that I volunteered for and now I get to do it as a job.
Yeah, and you go around and you make people happy. I would love to be able to spend all day with the dog and bringing it around to different people, and, when I had Max, it was always great to take him for a walk or go to a restaurant, and
Mhm.
everybody this, you see this all the time. The effect that a dog has on people is unbelievable. They will be miserable at one moment, and then you see a dog and their whole face lights up. It's
Nope.
incredible.
Yep. Even seeing them makes a big difference.
It does. I used to bring Max to work with me when I worked at the studio, and everybody was stressed out. They're running around. We had deadlines and we had all this stuff to do. Max would come in and it just all the tension dissipated.
Yep.
It just became a better place to work. And because of that, what was interesting is it became a dog friendly
Oh,
studio.
nice.
So
Aw,
everybody was allowed to bring their dog in. I mean, obviously,
that's
you had to
awesome.
be respectful and smart, and it had to go, you couldn't have it going to the washroom inside or anything.
Mhm.
But generally, it just changed the whole atmosphere of
It
work. It
really
was
does.
incredible. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking to you, and thank you so much. I think
Thank you.
what you do is amazing, and the fact that you do what you love and you make people happy is the best thing ever.
It's a blessing for sure.
It is. Thanks so much, Monica.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for joining us today and sharing the heartwarming work of the Alliance of Therapy Dogs. Your dedication, and I'm talking to you, Monica, and the dedication of all the volunteers and their dogs reminds us of the incredible healing power of a wagging tail and a loving paw. If you'd like to learn more, get involved, or support this wonderful organization, you can visit their website. And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in to A Dog's Devotion. And remember, dogs' lives are short, so love them as hard as you can. I'm your host, Carla Basaki. Thanks so much, Monica.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us on A Dog's Devotion. If today's story touched your heart, share it with a fellow dog lover. And remember, whether they're by your side or watching over you, our dogs are our greatest teachers of love, loyalty, and living in the moment. Until next time, give your pup an extra hug and never forget the devotion of a dog. I'm your host, Carla Basaki. Thanks for joining me.